Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I made a claim, I made a lot of claims, but in this particular one, the European Union seemed to be the biggest losers. Well, maybe aside from the Ukrainian nation. And in one video that I made on the 5th of August 2025, I said that US uses Ukraine war to conquer the European Union, which is the biggest loser. And go and watch that video if you want to get a detailed angle into why I think the Europeans are the biggest losers. And to support that statement and to support that thesis, I'm bringing to you 4 more articles from today and yesterday where I think proves that the Europeans are the biggest losers, and the biggest with a capital B letter. 20th of August 2025. Europeans to pay premium for US arms. Washington. The 10% markup will offset the cost of potential air supports for Kiev. The US is charging European nations an extra 10% for weapons they purchase for onward shipment to Ukraine. Got it? And I'm quoting, right now we are selling arms to the Europeans who are then selling them on to the Ukrainians. And President Donald Trump's taking a 10% markup on the arms. So maybe that 10% will cover the cost of the air cover. Understand? But who's paying? Someone must be paying. The money must come from somewhere. And someone has to pay for it. Who do you think that would be? Do you own a mirror? If you live in the West, obviously. So, the other one. And in this article, Bloomberg, security guarantees for Ukraine may rely on coalition of the willing. You see Macron, how happy he is? Look at them. So why? That means our, it's not ours. It's, see, I still have to catch myself saying this kind of stupidity. So some interest in the United States of America will use the American government in imposing certain things to other countries and other people somewhere else, which is Ukraine and the Europeans and the Russians in this case. So we are going to send weapons for the Ukrainians to defend themselves via the Europeans' pay. So the Europeans will pay for our weapons and the war that started. Okay, got that? So again, and the Europeans will have to pay. Who's going to be the Europeans? The Europeans don't have money. They have to borrow it. From whom? From the international banking system. You have the arms manufacturing companies and the energy industry. These are the three biggest profiteers of this war. Next one. Russia Today, 20th of August. European military stocks fall on Ukraine peace talks progress. Why? Why not the Americans? You got it? That's why the Americans did not fall, because these guys are going to pay for it, buying it from us. There you go, right there. Defense companies were thriving as Western nations armed Kiev and boosted their own industry, citing an alleged threat from Russia. European military stocks have tumbled, defying broader positive market sentiments as traders assessed the White House meeting that brought fresh hope for a Ukraine peace deal. So what's going to happen? Rheinmetall and others will move to America and produce them over there. Got it? So we have some numbers here. The stocks Europe total market aerospace and defense index fell 2.6% on Tuesday, as traders viewed the ongoing negotiations as a chance to take profits following a strong rally in the sector. Shares in Italian defense firm Leonardo and Germany's Hensoldt. But where is the, Hensoldt. Where is the Rheinmetall? Oh, right here. We're down 10.1% and 9.5% respectively. German defense supplier Rheinmetall and the tank components maker Renk also declined 4.9% and 8.2% respectively. You got this is a tragedy. 10%, 9%, 5%, 8%. These are tragedies. And I'm calling any de-escalation of tensions between Russia and Europe and talk of spending more on US shipment is negative for these companies. Got it? Good. Next one. Ukraine wants Europeans to pay $100 billion for weapons deal with the US. You can't make shit up. So these guys who are at war with the Ukrainians wants the third party to buy for the first party and pay them to fight $100 billion. Kiev reportedly wants to procure more Patriot missile systems. Ukraine has proposed that its European backers spend... Who do you think is going to pay, man? Again, who do you think is going to pay? Spend $100 billion providing it with American weapons. Kiev continues to seek security guarantees from Washington. Clear? Do you have any questions? I've been yapping around this or about this since 2022. It was clear then who is who, what is what, who the profiteers are, who are the guys who lose their lives and they're used by interests, who use countries to push around other countries in order to enrich the same interests. And people are dying. Countries are destroyed. Nations are disappearing. But it's okay. Ukraine has a chance. If NATO, the free world, wins, they will repopulate Ukraine. It will bring some people, some sturdy people. They're going to impregnate your women so the Ukrainian nation continues. Well, the children will look a little bit differently, if you know what I mean. But hey, Ukrainians, what will be called Ukrainians as Zelensky is called Ukrainian. What the hell now? Anyway, so you got it, my friends. That's your future. That's why a nation is destroyed. Its traditions will be destroyed. Its culture will be destroyed. Why? Because of some interest. And the interests are clear. And then those interests donated, supported certain politicians who just not promote their interests. No. They were just over there to help everybody. If you would use the same logic in everywhere else, that would be called a bribe. I give you money in order to ask you to do me a favor. But here in America, that's called campaign donation by big corporations, banking system, Rheinmetall being in Germany, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and many others. These guys are just over there just to help, man. They're not going to call back the politicians and tell them, now you go and vote on that little proposal. I think we should do this. And they say, yes, sir. Hey, Europeans, you got to impose sanctions on yourself. Don't produce weapons. You can't sell them over there. You have to buy it from us. Impose sanctions on yourselves with gas and oil from Russia and so on. Why? So who is who here? Who lost? Remember, these people in charge, we're told European leaders, they are public servants because we hire them to do our job. And what they do? They do some other interest jobs based on the proportionality of how much money they received. So these guys in Europe are, I think, traitors. Could be called traitors. Or could be called weasels. It's question mark here. What could they be called? Definitely they're not patriots. Definitely they're not leaders. Definitely they're not strong with big balls. Otherwise, one of these guys first. Did you see that picture, famous now, pictures with those guys around Trump's desk, like a school principal with students who are in trouble? Did you see that? Now, what if you were a president who you would be, let's say, independent, with a sovereign country? You would not even sit down over there. You would refuse to participate in that meeting. But none of these guys said, why don't you, Trump, sit down here and I sit in your spot? Why didn't you find another way of having it done? I know, like a round table where we all equal. Because we're not equal. These guys, tell the other guys what to do on the same interests. Remember, the same interests over there are over here as well. It's just they have different names. Same piece of shit, different name. So thank you very much for being with me again today. Europe is owned Europe is under the US occupation, economic occupation, political occupation, cultural occupation, and military occupation. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.